everybody. I hope you're having an awesome week this week. Yesterday was Valentine's Day. So this week on our series of heart health at all levels, we're going to talk about interpersonal heart health, the heart-to-heart kind of health. Sometimes those things can be healthy, and sometimes you need to look at whether those things are going in such a healthy way or not. And the first thing I want to talk about is benefits and blessings. This is going to be a list of B's because, birds and bees, right? So today we're going to talk about why you should have healthy interpersonal relationships. Sometimes one of the traps we fall into is getting hurt and then deciding I want to withdraw and not have any kinds of real deep relationships, keeping a distance and becoming avoidant in your relational style. And that isn't healthy either. The benefits of reaching out to others and being in real genuine relationship are abundant. And it's very important that we all take advantage of getting to know other people and letting them get to know us. We get a certain kind of blessing from our relationships with people that you cannot get all by yourself. And I know some of the introverts out there are kind of skeptical about that. I can be good all by myself for a really long time. But we don't get the same perspective that we get when we reach out and we learn and we grow from being in relationships with other people. Spiritually speaking, you cannot grow completely unless you are in relationship. And if you look at the dynamics of Christianity, you realize that God in himself is a relational God. As a Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit are in relationship with one another. And in Genesis, he created man and then proved to man what he already knew by himself. It is not good for man to be alone. And he went through all of the animals in creation and proved to man, look, none of these are suitable for you. You cannot just hang out with your dog or cat. That's not going to be good enough. You need a partner. You need a friend. You need somebody to do life with. It wasn't just about having a romantic relationship. He knew that human beings were created in his image, relational. We need to be relational with other human beings. We need to show love by pouring it out into other people, and we need to learn to receive love in a way that's gracious. So learning to reach out again when you've become avoidant can be a blessing to you if you learn how to reach out to the right people. And that isn't always just about what they can give you, but it's also just as much about what you pour into those relationships. We are not fully actualized as human beings in all of our potential unless we are pouring love and goodness into others and receiving it. It's a cycle. You can't pour out only, you can't receive only. You have to do both. You have to constantly keep that water of love flowing through you, into you and out of you, so that you are not becoming stagnant or empty. That's very, very important for heart health, for keeping your emotions and your love tank healthy. So the balance is important. You have to make sure that you keep a healthy balance of work and emotional health and interpersonal health and physical health. And it's important to keep a balance among your relationships and know what your priorities are. First, spirituality should be important. That's a very important thing. And we're going to talk about that as part of our heart health in another session. But today, I want you to focus on what is a healthy balance on how to spend the right amount of time with people, not too much time with people, but making sure that you have enough. And that depends on you a little bit. For extroverts, you're going to need a lot more time with big groups of people in order to have energy. But introverts also need time with people in order to grow, in order to stay healthy, in order to process things with right perspective. So you need wisdom from other people. You need to share kindness and fellowship and love and share what's good about you with other people. We learn by benefiting from what we find in others that we do not have. And God created us that way. He even created in himself a Trinity so that he would be constantly flowing in relationship and in love within himself. So he never becomes stagnant. So that's important for us too. We need to be able to relate to others and share with others. And we need to keep a balance so that we're not all by ourselves all the time, and we're not always on all the time either. We need time for reflection and time to get other things done. But making sure that you balance in. For an introvert, you may need to, just a few times a week, make sure that you contact somebody. It doesn't have to be a large group of people for an introvert for it to be a healthy relationship balance. You can do really well with just small one-on-one relationships, 1 on 2 or 3 relationships, but making sure you connect with other people on a regular basis weekly. Yes, weekly, every week. You need to make sure you spend time with somebody. And for extroverts, you need to spend time both with small groups and with big groups. Extroverts sometimes can feel like they get filled up in their relationships that are surface relationships, large groups of people, but you also need deeper relationships too. So making sure you balance that out. And we should all have circles where we have relationships with a large community and smaller community and intimate relationships. And then there's our very most intimate relationships like our spouse, our best friend. And then inside of that, first priority, deepest, closest relationship should be with God. So making sure that you balance that out correctly in how much time you spend with each of those levels of people and how much you invest in them. Your whole community does not need to know your deepest, darkest secrets, but your very best friend and your closest people you should be able to trust them well enough that they're going to handle that information gently and be able to care for you in the midst of that. So if you are not able to manage good relationships with those people, then you need to maybe look at, what are my boundaries? And if you don't know what boundaries mean, if you've never studied boundaries, it is well worth your time to look up the book Boundaries by Henry Cloud and John Townsend. It has a wealth of information, and I could spend an entire Periscope session talking to you about boundaries, and maybe I will at some point. I think I may have already done one a long time ago. But boundaries is critical. That means knowing where I stop and you begin. You are not at one with another person completely. There's always going to be some times when you need to respect limits and respect another person's privacy, respect choices, respect what is best for that other person, and have them respect what's best for you. And making sure you're able to say, this is what I'm willing to do, and this is what I'm not willing to do in your relationships with other people. That helps you be able to feel comfortable entering into relationships with people without having to be avoidant because someone has not respected your boundaries in the past. Learning how to set those carefully. And then our last one is bloom tending. Finding the people that are toxic, that maybe don't respect your boundaries, that are not healthy for you, that are not bringing blessings into your life, and maybe snipping off the dead blooms so that new ones can grow. That doesn't mean you have to be ugly to those people. They just aren't healthy right now, and they're not healthy for you right now. They have an opportunity, if you end that relationship, to go get healing and to grow and to be a different person. As long as you are enabling them to continue in those behaviors by staying in that relationship, they're not going to need to go get healthy. So you may actually help that person by ending that relationship with them. And that can be a friendship, that can be a dating relationship. It could be someone in your extended family that you choose not to spend very much time with anymore because they have been wounding to you, they have disrespected you, or they have not been respectful of your boundaries of time and space and what you're able to give them. They may be too demanding. They may make the relationship all about them, and there may not be a balance between how much of it is about them and how much is about you. Making sure you identify the relationships that are not helping you grow and are not helping the other person grow either is very important to being able to have heart health at an interpersonal level. Those people need a deeper kind of healing than a friendship can provide. If someone does not have healthy boundaries, maybe them seeking counseling or a life coaching relationship would be better for them than relying on a friendship which does not meet those needs. So helping them know that that's what they need to do by ending that relationship will be good for them, and it'll be good for you. So look up healthy boundaries. look up bloom tending and cutting loose those relationships, really examining that. And life coaching would be sufficient for helping you process if you're not sure which relationships might need to be pruned out of your life. So look at those things: benefits and blessings, balance, boundaries, and bloom tending, and take good care of your interpersonal heart health. It can be one of the greatest joys, like an ever blooming garden in your life that will benefit you and bring you fruit and bring you life and joy and bring you a sense of peace and comfort in times when you really need it, and help you to grow in ways that you never expected. It can be a tremendous source of your own personal growth, and you can become a better you by being around those who you are meant to be in connection with. So that's all I have for you today on heart health at an interpersonal level. If you have any questions, I would love to hear your comments and questions. Go to my blog at www.divineencouragement.com, and I look forward to seeing you there. Have an awesome week. Bye.